One of the most pivotal games of rugby in Terrace history arrived in the final game of the 1977 season, when an undefeated Terrace met State High, who had been unbeaten for 2 years and who were captained by a young Wally Lewis. Terrace's win in 1977 marked its first outright rugby premiership in over 50 years and proved to be the first in a run of an unparalleled 5 consecutive premierships.
We played State High in the last game of the GPS season. We were both undefeated, and State High hadn't had their line crossed in 2 years. So they were raging favourites, and there was a lot of press leading up in the week or so before the game. The papers would be down our training, they'd be down at State High's training, and on the day we played at State High, the school was absolutely full. All the classrooms, the verandas were absolutely full of people. There'd never been so many. And it was a great game. One of the things, I suppose, that went against State High was the fact that they'd never had their line crossed. And we crossed their line after about a quarter of an hour and scored. And that was a bit of a shock to them, which they took a bit of time to recover. And in the end, we won the game, and it was just sort of, everything just went mad. It was the first outright premiership Terrace had won in 50 years.
Terrace's captain on that day was talented fullback Mark Moore. Mark was Terrace's only Indigenous student at the time and reflects fondly on his time leading the firsts.
I was proud to have called myself a Terratian when I saw today. I know it's been a long time since I've played here, but it certainly brought back memories. I played 2 years in the first, 76, 77, but in particular 77, it's an experience not every kid gets to experience. It's basically 8 grand finals, 8 games of footy. We were lucky enough in that year to win every game. It was a wonderful experience. I think for me personally as the captain, I matured as a person and as a leader, given that responsibility. But also given that I was an Indigenous person in the school as well, it took me some while to even play rugby to encompass it, because I'd come from the bush, and I think once I started playing sport and I was comfortable with sport, then I became a part of the Terrace community, and also myself and my family were accepted within the Terrace community. Yep, wouldn't change it.
State High's legendary coach, Jim Lucey, also won a total of 5 premierships for State High during his time coaching the first 15. His once intense rivalry with Lester Hampson in the 1970s evolved into friendship and later partnership when they coached the 1998 Terrace First 15 together, a talented team that produced several representative players, including Wallaby Mark Chisholm.
Terrace trying to scramble over, and they do so. In fact, that will be Mark Chisholm, the Terrace breakaway.
In 2013, both Lester Hampson and Jim Lucey made their way to Tennyson for the annual Terrace and State High clash, this time as spectators.
I wouldn't say it was a friendship in those days, but you do learn to respect someone too. And I suppose we became more friendly when I coached with Lester. That was interesting to sort of coach against and then to coach with somebody.
Yes.
So that was where, I suppose we're good friendly enemies now in a way, aren't we? That sort of thing.
Well, I wouldn't say enemies. Friendly enemies doesn't really sound right. Just enemies indeed.
He's come to see my point of view a lot more, Nick, over the years. So I started coaching the first in 68, finished up in 79. But the special significance with Terrace, we used to have a trial, it was a set trial. It was always the first game after rowing or cricket. So we used to play twice in a year, so there was always that trying to trick each other in the trial.
So where Jim used to play his thirds, I'd play my fourths.
And see what the result was in the game. But it's funny, when you're in another school, you learn certain things. Terrace, you were always terrified of the quality of the junior teams. They always had very good junior teams.
Then in 77, we probably got the fruits of 76 through. We had a very good team. It wasn't a flashy team in terms of beating teams by cricket scores, but it would win. They had very good players in it. but it was also a very well-structured sort of drill team, and with a determination to win. We won some games by 2 and 3 and that sort of thing. And we staggered through one after the other to the final with State High. And State High, I think, were on there. They'd won 4 in a row at that stage.
Both Lester and Jim have now taken seats in the Old Boys Grandstand as part of the Tennyson campaign. While the brilliant new grandstand has now been opened, the campaign continues. Visit www.tennysoncampaign.com for further information, to buy a seat or make a donation.